Alrighty. We are back. Welcome back, TMP fans. And we are live once again. Let me tell you, we are talking Maggotkin of Nurgle today. We're going to be painting up some Space Wolves later because for funs and giggles, that's how we roll. All right, I am checking things out here. Checking out the strength of the stream, and hopefully it is pretty good. So I am checking that out right now just to make sure that everything is going on copacetically. I'm gonna have to change that. Well, this is interesting. The name of the actual thing is not correct.
Used to ejaculate.
Wow. Okay. Ads came up and I didn't have that in there. Okay. Oh, I am good. I am good. I am good to go. I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to change the words of this thing, and I don't know how to do that. But the words in which I am seeing here for the title of the video is a little bit off. But you know what? I'm going to fix that later. Right now, we're going to talk Battletome, Nurgling, Maggotkin of Nurgle. And oh boy, am I lucky to land on this leaked information. And oh my goodness, let's talk about the Maggotkin of Nurgle release and all of its details. Now, I don't know if we're going to get into the, well, there might be some sections we might turn out, but I am condensing some of these rules. But let's talk about the new faction rules for the battle traits, and I am very grateful for those that shared this with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope you are well. All right, let us speak all things that are Maggotkin. Okay, so let's talk about some battle traits that are going on. The Maggotkin and Nurgle armies can use one of these, well, some of these following abilities here are there. Well, on your hero phase, you have Blighted Regrowth. What does that mean? Well, you can declare that you can use this ability if there are no feculent narmals in this Battletome. Let me tell you, the feculent narmals got a glow up this edition. Not only can they bring people back, of course, your rallying abilities and all those things, but they can move and you can basically bring them back to life. Just pop them up and bring them back to life, which is absolutely phenomenal within the hero phases right there. Now, I did write some notes as I read through these things, and boy, oh boy, do I like to take my notes, me being a teacher. But let's talk about the ups and downs of the Battletome set before we actually get into the Blighted Regrowth, which I love the fact that Narmal in this edition. Now, this is an army for a very wrinkly brain. Vince Venturella did a video on wrinkly-brained armies as well as smooth-brain armies. And I love that video. Go check that out. But what this means is that there's going to be a lot of bookkeeping. You're going to have to keep track of your diseases, for example, and possibly have some markers. You can have some tokens just to keep part of the diseases. I mean, I use tokens. I use cards. I actually buy these blank cardboard acid-free backing tokens that I just write on. Right? And you can wet erase write it, but I mean, I'll get them like hundreds of at a time, right? 200-300 of a time. And I'll just write the ability like diseased. And then I'll just pop that down there. If I don't have enough tokens, I could just write them in. Not a big deal. You can do that easily. But you have so many, I think in this one, I counted about 10 end of turn abilities that you have with this army. So there's a lot of bookkeeping with this army. But if you like crunchy things, let's go. So make sure you have the tokens to keep track of these things of who is diseased. That's going to be one of your biggest things because disease plays such a role in this Battletome. And there are tons of new characters here. I picked up the Dark Water box set, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of awesome characters in there that are in this Battletome. We have the Dark Water models, which are included, and although not needed to play the Maggotkin, they are very cool. You know, they're the new shiny. They don't really tax you to play these things. I mean, if you got Rodriguez, if you got the big stompy people, Maggotkin is amazing. If you got these bigger things, you're going to play pretty good. You might need a wizard or two, which, you know, you get some from that box. But, I mean, I hear that, you know, it's really good to play two in its own game. But, you know, this is what happens. we kind of, as players, rifle through boxes to get the minis that we need, right? Anyway, the Rodriguez got a glow up. The Maggotkin definitely got a glow up. The Blightings were pretty much nerfed. I mean, how they played just changed. You got Plague Bearers. We could definitely give a glow up on that one. And Festus, which is an epic model. I want this model in my collection. It is so good. I always love Festus. I liked the older model where he's just dripping the contagion into this poor dude who's just wasting away, you know? That was fun, but riding this huge mount, oh my goodness. Oh, so good. So good. Now, the big focus here, obviously, is going to be on the disease mechanics. And the feculent narwhal, now that it can move and, you know, do all the other things, it really got to glow up as well. But I noticed that there's no Nurgle manifestations, like 0. So what is up with that? What do you think is up with that? Comment down below and or link in the description to be able to figure that one out. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. So let's break it down. Let's talk about those battle traits. Let's go back to the Blighted Regrowth. I got ahead of myself a little bit. So Blighted Regrowth is great for the feculent narwhal. This is what it's for, right? And then all the rest of these, and you can do here, I'll say the effect is to set up the feculent narwhal on the battlefield wholly within 12 inches of an objective you control and more than 3 inches away from all enemy units, objectives, and other terrain features. But once you do that, if there are none, if the enemy takes out your feculent narwhal and you have none, you could just regrowth. And it is not stationary. So you're bringing back your terrain feature for the army. And very few armies actually get to do that. So that's really exciting. I love the Blighted Regrowth. I love that battle trait. And then we have Blessed by the Plague Father. Construire mon frère. Let us talk about that. Okay, so, oopsie. Let's get this in, let's get this correct. Okay. So sensitive, this mouse. All right, oops. I'm sorry about that. Oh my goodness, come on now. Yes, the good old clickety clicks. Okay, once per turn. Now, this is not once per hero phase, but once per turn. Okay, which makes it a little less effective, but still, so once per turn, every turn, every single turn, you're gonna pull this. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, so pick one of the following effects. The first one is gonna be Infect. Pick an enemy within 7 inches of any friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units to be on the target. To be the target. You cannot pick manifestations or terrain features. Granted, if the target is in combat with any friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units, it has a disease keyword. Instant disease. You want to spread your disease in this Battletome. If the target is not in combat with a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units, then roll a dice and on a 4-up, the target is the disease keyword. You're giving it one way or the other, so 2 ways is to get the disease here, either auto with in combat, or you're just casting that 4 up, which is not terrible. It's somewhere in between, you know? And then, but once things are effective, then here's the good thing, spread, right? Pick a diseased enemy unit to be on the, to be the target. Each other enemy unit within the target's combat range, excluding manifestations and terrain features, has a disease keyword. This is excellent to spread your diseases. Once your target is diseased, everybody around him starts getting the disease. And it really does feel like it's spreading through the army. It's very flavorful, and I love that. And then you have mutate. If all the enemy units on the battlefield, excluding manifestations and terrain features, have the disease keyword, you inflict 1 mortal damage on each of them. Everybody gets a mortal wound. Everybody gets a mortal wound, and that's how we work this. That's how we work this. Don't you love it? Okay, so here it goes. Look at that. So you're spreading all this diseases. You're inflicting mortal wounds. Great. And what is really great is that these things are going to stack. Like, you're going to have a lot of disease keywords. You're going to have more damage going on. Okay, so let's talk about your passive abilities. Or let's go back to the top and see if we're missing one. Okay, Ceaseless Infectors. Let's talk about that. Now, once per turn, again, this is a once per turn thing. It's not from hero phase to hero phase. I have to clarify that, okay? You pick an enemy unit that it was in combat with a friendly Rotbringer. That means you have to bring your Rotbringers, right? Unit that was destroyed this turn to be the target. So pick an enemy unit that was in combat with a friendly Rotbringer unit that was destroyed during, destroyed this turn to be the target. It has to be destroyed. You cannot pick a manifestation or terrain feature. Now, roll a dice, and on a 3-up, the target has the disease keyword. So, spreading that disease, constantly pushing those disease points. Now, remember, you're doing over here all disease units. If you have everybody diseased, 1 mortal wound, and that is, I believe it's per turn. Toin. You gotta love that. Okay, all right. So that is really good. Getting more diseased people. Another passive is Burst Pustules. Now, I do like this one. The effect: each time a diseased enemy unit is destroyed before the last model on the unit is removed from play, on a 3-up, pick another enemy unit which is 9 inches away from that model to be targeted. You cannot pick a manifestation or terrain feature. The target has a disease keyword. So you're thinking about these things are dying. These disease models are dying. These spreading things, and they're popping out some more disease, and you're just spreading it that way. So that's pretty epic. As you're dying, more disease, more mortal wounds. You gotta love giving more mortal wounds. That is the perfect thing to do. All right. Maggotkin of Nurgle. Let's go. Desperate Remedies. If an ability would heal or return a slain model to be a diseased enemy unit, that ability does not heal or return a slain model to it. Instead, it no longer has the disease keyword. So they're going to have to spend their activity. Instead of healing, they have to deal with the disease, which is fine because there are so many other ways to give diseases here. You know, it's an inevitability. They're going to get diseased again, right? Sipping on my tea right here. It's really great. All right. So this is pretty epic over here. We got some stuff going on, which I love. And then let's talk about Racked with Disease. And this is once per turn, at the end of any turn. Declare each disease enemy unit to be the targets. Inflict D3 mortal damage on each target. So, you got the 1 mortal wound if you got everybody infected, and you're doing a D3 mortal wounds on each target that is diseased. And this is why we spread that disease, folks. This is why You're going to want to spread those disease and get those counters and keep track of who is diseased and who is healed. Because D3 mortal, oh wow, yeah, I can block. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Relentless. I love it. All right, let's talk about some of the battle formations that exist over here. Let's start off with, oopsie, boop, boop. There it is. Let's talk about the big boy. The big boy is that Taliban of Nurgle. This is a beautiful thing. I don't know why I keep doing that, and I'm very sorry. Okay. So once per battle, this is just one time. You pop this off and you are good to go, right? So understatement here. You're going to want to first turn disease if you can. If you can get anywhere close, you want to first turn disease. You want your stuff to spread, because the more it spreads, the more mortal wounds, the more damage you're going to do to an army, the more you're going to shut down them rallying troops. I'm thinking my flesh eater courts, bringing back some ghouls, right? You're going to stop that because they have to heal the disease. They don't want the mortal wounds. They're going to just, they have a choice to face, and it's a tough choice. Okay. Let's talk about the Taliban of Nurgle. The Plague Progenitor. Now, this is a really important one. A Plague Progenitor. You're giving this keyword to some baddie in your army, right? You're going to declare an enemy unit on the battlefield to be the Plague Progenitor. And this baddie's going to get it. And for the rest of the battle, you cannot pick any manifestations or terrain features. So forget manifestations, forget terrain features. You're not picking those things. You're picking your enemy unit to be the Plague Progenitor, the person that's going to spread, right? And really be the toxic person. Okay, now the effect. Once they have it, they have the Plague Progenitor keyword. You roll 2d3, and on a 6, or if the roll equals or exceeds the Plague Progenitor's health characteristic, whatever that health characteristic is, it has a disease keyword. Dun dun dun, more disease. Oh, but does it stop there? Oh no, it does not. In the first battle round, while the Plague Progenitor has the disease keyword, it cannot be used or be picked to be the target of any abilities that could heal or return slain models to it. Shutting down that healing ability. You're just diseased now. Enjoy that, Plague Progenitor. Enjoy that. Now, each time the Plague Progenitor is picked to be the target of the spread effect keyword that we mentioned earlier, the effect of Blessed by the Plague Father ability, inflict D3 mortal wounds. That's another D3 mortal wounds on each of the enemy units within the combat range, excluding manifestation and terrain features, in addition to the effect of that ability. So dealing out those mortal wounds, deadly, slowly dying. You really feel your army slowly dying because they had the gall to go up against you. And then we have the passive ability here. The vectors of contagions that add 5 to the control score of friendly non-hero rotbringers. Use units while they are wholly within 12 inches of any friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle daemon units. Meh. Okay. Whatever. It's passive. Let it do it, right? Okay. And then there's Nurgle Menagerie, which your effect goes off, right? Your effect weapons. Your companion's weapons use friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units have crit 2 hits. I'm thinking flies, maybe? Okay. Maybe flies? Rot flies? I do have a lot of them. That would be fun to run a list of just, a whole bunch of flies coming down at you. They got the movement, Why not? But it's not better than Taliban of Nurgle. Taliban of Nurgle, you want to spread that disease. You're rolling a 2d3. You're getting a 6. That's pretty easy. And you're getting D3 mortal wounds. You just popping them off. That's 6 cards. Let's just talk about the other ones, okay? Right, the Plague Cyst is right there. I don't think I'll be picking that. I don't know. I'd rather be doing damage than just, doing control scores. Well, I guess for secondaries, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who would pick. I would not pick that. Okay. All right. So, next, Affliction Cyst. All right. The filth-lading demonic blooms. Each time you make a run roll for friendly non-monster Maggotkin of Nurgle Daemon units, you can change that roll to a 4. I mean, I guess. It is passive, and you do get a little more movement, at least more reliable movement. It's still not as good as the Taliban. Taliban, that formation, it rocks. It is the facto battle formation that I would choose. Like that. Maybe Nurgle's Menagerie if I'm doing something, spicy with flies, but that's pretty much it. But Taliban of Nurgle, oh yeah, you are there. All right, let's keep going. I love the artwork here. Okay, let's talk about your heroic traits. Let's get into it. All right. We have somebody in the chat. Let's see who is in the chat. Say hello. Wolf Brother Mythos. Hey, I believe I can see that. All right, Wolf Brother Mythos says, my brother, what is up, my brother? Hopefully we can have a show later on. I wanted to talk about AOS here. I got leaked information. My sources are my own. Leaked information about a new Battletome of Maggotkin of Nurgle, which is exciting because it really does change the way things are playing. Okay, so hope all is well for you, brother, and thank you for joining. Thank you. All right, let's talk about heroic traits, the avatars of corruption. These are only heroes, right? Okay, so here's one heroic trait. Grandfather's Blessing. Now, if the unit is in combat with disease, remember, disease is a huge mechanic in this army. You're trying to give as much diseases as possible. So if you have the disease, what you're doing is you're going to heal D3 for the unit. Really great if you have these really big, monstrous models that you just want to keep on the table. If you're healing D3 wounds, you don't really want to give it to the small guy that can just, get one-shotted. You want to give it to your tanks. You want to give it to your big guys, Rodigus. I'm thinking, or, maybe just a Great Unclean One. Great Unclean One would be great for this because the heroic traits don't occur unless you have an unnamed character. So Great Unclean One is where it's at with this one. Then you have the gift of Ferbile Frenzy. Reminds me of Furbies. If you're with me on this one. All right, let's take a look at my notes. I do have some stuff. Okay, we did battle formations, which is great. Yep. Okay, so some heroic traits over here. We have Grandfather's Blessing again. Healing those D3 for the big guys. The gift of Ferbile Frenzy. Now declare a visible, friendly, non-hero Maggotkin of Nurgle unit that is wholly within 12 inches of this unit to be the target. So anybody wholly within 12 inches. Got you. The effect is you roll a dice, and on a 3-up, you add 1 to the attack characteristics to the target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. So being a little more punchy. It's all right. I mean, there it is. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. I'm not going to say it's a terrible thing. I always like being more punchy, especially when I have lots of little units. But we're talking about just the hero, right? And here's one I like the most. Overpowering Stench. Let's talk about that. Overpowering Stench. It's like me when I don't... Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you that. Oh my goodness, where am I? Oh yeah. So the Ferbile Frenzy, again, adding 1 to the attacks is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. So if you're going to go attacking people, use the gift of Febrile Frenzy, right? However, if you want to be a little more defensive with it and use that legendary Nurgle's Resilience, right? And then just hard to kill. Well, then Overpowering Stench is pretty nasty. You're going to declare and pick an enemy unit in the combat with this unit to be the target, right? So the effect is you and your opponent must roll off. Oh, this is exciting, right? You're going to roll off. If your roll is higher, pick one of the following effects to apply to the rest of the turn. I guess the gift of Febrile Frenzy, you can get it off more often, right? But I mean, Overpowering Stench is fun. I mean, let's roll off, right? You're not just waiting for your turn, you're doing something. I like that. All right. Anyway, if you win, ignore positive modifiers to save rolls for the target. So if you have any bonuses to that target, oh well, they're gone. And subtract 1 from ward rolls for that target. So the feel no pains and stuff like that, all that's gone. It's gone. Ward rolls, goodbye. So you're just actually subtracting it, being more powerful, harder to kill, right? Harder to kill. Avoiding positive modifiers to your save rolls for the target as well. Like, that's fun. That is just fun. That is fun. I probably use the gift of Febrile Frenzy, but if I'm just having fun and rolling dice, I'm definitely going to. So I guess this is more defense, the power of Stench, and then the power of Frenzy is when you want to boost your attack. And these are the heroic traits right there. Let's move it on. Let's move it on. Let's move it on. Love this. Love this. Oh, I would read it, but I'm not. All right, arcade. we have a show, and I'd like to get to some painting today. You know what I mean? I got some Space Wolves. They're not going to paint themselves. All right, so let's talk. We have some artifacts of power. Okay, so these are heroes only, unnamed heroes. Then we're going to get there, and we're going to give them some artifacts. Let's talk about that. We're going to talk about the first artifacts. In any combat phase, any one, that means yours or mine, the Withering Stave is there. You can declare and pick an enemy unit that has charged this turn and is in combat with the unit to be the target. Okay, so they charged in. They got some combat going. Okay, and your effect. You roll a dice, and on a 3-up, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of the target's melee weapon for the rest of the turn. How effective is that? How you have your corn units coming in, you know? They're doing a lot of damage. They're doing a lot of shenanigans to get even more damage. You're shutting them down, right? Not completely. I mean, it's pretty easy to get a 3-up, right? So half the time what you're doing is this thing is great because what you want to do is you want to prevent your enemies from doing damage to you, and at the same time you have that natural disgustingly resilient. So you're making yourself really difficult to take off that board. And that's the beauty of Nurgle. All right, let's talk about once per battle, okay? Once per battle, which these are the ones, I gotta be honest, when I'm trying to bookkeep the once per battle things, this is pretty much what I usually kind of forget, you know? Okay, so declare and pick up to 3 enemy units within 18 inches of this unit to be the targets. So pick up to 3 enemy units within 18 inches. So 18 inches, fine. The effects are subtract 5 from the target's control scores until the start of your next turn. And let me tell you something. When it comes to the effects, of control scores, I usually don't do that. Plus, it's just like that once per battle kind of thing. Who is using this one? Who is using the Carrion Dirge, and why are you using it? If you are using it and may justify something for using the Carrion Dirge, please let me know in the comments, because I don't get it. Why? Why, when there's so much better things to get, would you use the Carrion Dirge? Use the Witherstaff or the Rustfang. Let me tell you about the Rustfang. Okay, so declare and pick an enemy hero or monster in combat with this unit to be the target. So, okay, this is hero or monsters. You know, Nurgles, we have our monsters, right? The effect is subtract 1 from the save rolls for the targets for the rest of the turn. Tanky, tanky, tanky. All right, with the Witherstaff, you're subtracting the damage coming in. And then with the Rustfang, it's great because you're subtracting save rolls for the target. I mean, those are the ones to use. I don't. Why would anyone use the Carrion Dirge? I don't know. But it's there. It's there. I guess it's there to fill up some room, maybe? I don't know. Let's talk more. Spell lore. Okay, now let's talk about your wizards. Okay, so I did a little bit. Oh, by the way, Rustfang stacks with overpowering stench, right? So it makes you even harder to hit. Remember, overpowering stench is great for defense, and now you're making even harder to hit. So you get that Rustfang as well. Again, Carrion Dirge is weak. I'm just checking my notes. All right, let's talk about spells, baby. Let's talk about you and me. All right, Fleshy Abundance. It is an unlimited spell. And what that means is that multiple spellcasters can cast it, right? You can just, it's not a once it's used, that's all you can use it for, you know? So this is one that you can cast many times in the same phase. Chef's Kiss. This thing is great. It's great. Why? Because, okay, you're going to declare a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle wizard. And which of the wizards out here? Okay, so we have the Harbinger of Decay, right? And the ones that come in Darkwater. And thank goodness I got Darkwater because now I have 2 wizards, right? Just like that, my Maggotkin of Nurgle army is growing. And yes, I already have a Maggotkin of Nurgle army on Sprue. I just have to attack that sucker. But I can really get in on this because, especially since I'm going to Nova Open and I do like playing AOS narrative, this might be a thing. I don't know. Do I build an army before the Nova Open? Oh, am I going to get the Nova Open entry for the Capital Palette to win the painting competition? So little time, so much hobbying because I definitely have to finish my Space Souls, right? That's going to be a thing. Okay. In any case, and at any rate, let's attack this. The Fleshy Abundance, right? So you can declare Maggotkin of Nurgle wizard. Again, there's a Harbinger of Decay. Belga is the one from Darkwater, and the Pestigore Shaman is another one. So you get 3. Pretty nice, right? So you got your wizard, and you cast a spell. It has a casting value of 6, which not bad. Not bad. On a 2d6, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it all day, every day. All right. So we have pick a visible, friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle wholly within 12 inches of them to be the target, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. The effect here is you pick one of the following of the effects. Now you can either heal d3, again, the big monsters, the Rodiguses, and all the big guys, the great unclean ones. You're healing them again. This is another opportunity to heal your people, making it even more obnoxious to get them off the table, right? Okay, so you can pick that one, or you can subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks to the target of the friendly unit at the start of the next turn. All right, so you're subtracting 1 from the wound rolls for the attackers targeting you, making yourself harder to hit. It's a win-win. It's a win-win, and the fact that you have 3 wizards, if you have your Rodigus slowdown on spells, you can heal D3, again D3, then again D3. Who's taking him out? Get a Glockkin. Who's taking him out? You're going to have one heck of a time doing so. So, unlimited spell. I love this thing. Fleshy Abundance is where it is at, my bros. All right. Let's talk about the other 2. They're not bad. They're not bad. Ay, 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 ay. I keep doing that. Okay. Crippling Despair. Declare a friendly Maggotkin Nurgle wizard to cast a spell and pick a visible enemy within 18 inches of them to be the target. Make a casting roll of 2d6. The effect here is the target cannot use commands for the rest of the... You know how powerful this is? You're shutting down their hero phase. You're shutting down their hero phase. They cannot use commands for the rest of the turn. Oh, so good. So good. And hitting on a 6. That's just a beautiful thing. It is. It's just beautiful. All right. So next up, we have the Cloying Quagmire. Declare a friendly model of Maggotkin of Nurgle wizard. To cast this spell, pick a visible army within 18 inches of them to be the target, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. We know this. All right, but here's the effect. Until the start of your next turn, half the target's move characteristics. Benson, charge this blow, right? And if the target's save characteristic is 3 or better, these are good, right? Subtract 1 from their run rolls. Ouch. Anything that does this kind of movement damage, I mean, I have Space Wolves. The first thing I want to do is to get, I mean, I know it's another game, but I have Space Wolves. And all I worry about is getting those beautiful blood claws into battle. Slowing them down, oh, you can miss a charge. And now you're not getting charged in, right? You're not getting those bonuses to hit or to wound. And other armies, unto your Khorne is very similar to that, right? Yeah. So we got a lot of charging things, I would think. Definitely you want to move their characteristics. Now, it's not as easy to cast as the other ones, which bring me joy. Bring me Nurgle's joy, I swear. But, I mean, the effects are beautiful. If you can pull it off, there it is. You're more likely to stay within the first two, the Crippling Despair, the Fleshy Abundance. Especially if you have bigger models, the Fleshy Abundance is beautiful, which encourages, this Battletome encourages you to take big guys. And then Crippling Despair, of course, shutting down people's command phases is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, here's some more. And you can pause it if you want to read this, but I'm not here to give away all the lore and stuff from the book right now because, you know, that's a bit much, but I'm gonna how they're playing. So let's talk about prayers. Oh, prayers. Okay. The lore of I keep doing that. Okay. The lore of virtualness. Now we're gonna have to have some priest for this, right? Some priest. That's witches too, right? I think so. Yeah, if they have the keyword priest, then you're good to go. All right. Oh, and another thing from the Gift of Disease from the player lore. Oh, let's talk about that. Okay. So again, there it is. You have Harbinger. Okay, these are the priests, Belga and the Pescar Shaman. These are the priests. I messed that up over here. Spells are wizards, and priests are those. That's Harbinger, the K, Belga, and Pestigor Shaman. These are all priests, and I got that. Please forgive me. Okay, so, all right. So here's some of the Gift of Disease. Let's talk about the Gift of Disease, okay? Another unlimited keyword is there, so it can be casted by multiple priests. -1 wounds for attacks made for this chanter. And a 10-up roll gets disease. So Rodigus, yes, please, all day, every day, right? Right? We got those. Oh no, that's a wizard. But still. You're making yourself a little more tanky over here. At the start of the next turn, subtract 1 wound rolls from the attacks made in the army, right? With the chanter. So being more tanky, more disgustingly resilient. It's casting, it goes off on a 3, which is super easy, and it can be done multiple times. So subtract 1 wound roll for the attacks made for the enemy when they're in combat with the chanter. So if you're trying to kill the chanter, it's going to be a little hard to kill. In addition, if the chanting roll was a 10 up, Each enemy unit in the combat with the chanter, each, excluding modifications and terrain features, have the disease keyword, spreading the disease again. Again, this army is a lot of bookkeeping. You got to keep track of those diseases because you're going to do those 2d3 mortal wounds plus 1 mortal wound because all these things are synergizing. You can literally watch your enemy decay right in front of you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for this super chat, my brother. Oh, wow. Thank you, Wolf Brother Hobbies. I do appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot. And hopefully it encourages people to get on and support the chat if you would like to. Not necessary. I do this for fun, but it does feel good when I'm appreciated. Thank you. Alrighty, so let's talk a little more. Let's talk a little more about some of these prayers. The prayers are great. I love the prayers. Prayers are awesome here. All right, we have favored poxes. Now declare one friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle priest to chant this prayer. Pick a visible enemy within 18 inches of the chanter to be the target, and then make the chanting roll of d6. Until the start of your next turn, subtract 2 from charge rolls for the target. If the chanting roll was a 10 up at the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target to a minimum of 1. Making that charge roll. Roll 1d6. Tough. Oh, you didn't make it? Guess what? I'm charging you next turn. Unless you have Feist first. I mean, really. You're going down. All right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's talk about bloated with the sickness. Come on and get bloated with the sickness. All right. Sorry. Couldn't help that. Pick a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle priest to chant this prayer. Pick a visibly friendly non-monster Maggotkin of Nurgle, non-monster this time, unit wholly within 12 inches of the chanter to be the target, and then make a chanting roll of d6. The effects here: until the start of your next turn, ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to the target each phase. Meh. If the chanting rolls was 10 up, you could pick another eligible unit to be the second target. If it said and spreads disease, then I would like this one, but it's okay. It's fine. It exists. I wouldn't use it, not when I have flavorful poxes right here. That is crazy. That is just crazy. Your charge rolls are just done. You can't get close to me and you're going to get diseased. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Pretty amazing stuff here. All right. There's a Harbinger of Decay. I do have that model and I'm looking forward to painting him. Let's talk Radagast. So actually, I didn't want to go over too much of the stacks here. You can make your own conclusions here, but Radagast has a glow up. They did really well with Radagast, so I figured it warrants him to go through all of these. Okay, so you have the Gnarl Rod will definitely give you 5 attacks on 3 up, 2 up to wound, 1 rend, and damage 3. Nice. And the Fang Maws are 3 up to hit, 2 up to wound, and rend 2 and damage 2. So that's really good as well. Okay, passive battle damage. While this unit has 10 or more damage points, the attack characteristic of its Gnarlord is 3. Okay, so battle damaged, which won't last long, especially if you're healing him with D3s, right? The passive ability is Bringer of the Plenty. Add 1 to the casting rolls for friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units that are wholly within 12 inches. So he gives that little boost. I'm liking that. Once per turn, army, or any charge phase, The Mountain of Loathsome Flesh. Declare if the unit has charged this turn, roll a dice, and on a 3-up, pick a visible enemy unit within 1 inch to be the target. Now, the effect of this is to roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the target unit. For each 5-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. Boom! Mortal wounds. It's all about them mortal wounds. I'll take it all day, day. Give me them mortal wounds. I don't want you to roll defense. I want you to die. Okay. But it's once per turn. Very good, especially if you're doing it in the charge phase, right? Because I'm coming at you. No, you're coming at me not full strength because you're going down. Look at this, a face only a mother can love. I have this one too. I should paint them up. All right. In any case, in your hero phase, it's casting value of 8. Hard to get off. Deluge of Nurgle. Declare. Pick 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the enemy's target, and then pick each friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle unit within 18 inches of this unit to be friendly targets. Then make a casting roll of 2d6. The effect here is, if you get that 8, inflict 1 mortal damage on each enemy target, and heal 1 each friendly target. So there it is. You're trading health here. You're trading health right here, making these guys even more resilient to damage. It is just beast mode right there. All right, I'm going to check the chat really quick. See if I can get over here. I need. Let me see. Gamesburger. Oh, hey, my brother. Thank you for joining me for this show. I do have some leaked information, top secret stuff for the new Maggotkin of Nurgle Battletome, and I wanted to definitely share it with you guys. Gamesburger says, bolter and hand sanitizer. Yes, you're going to want a bolter and hand sanitizer because that is pretty nasty, right? Okay, so inflicting mortal damage on each enemy target and healing the friendly post. So making it really, really nasty. And then until the start of your next turn, while they're within 18 inches of this unit, enemy units cannot use or be picked to be target of any abilities that heal or return slain models to this unit. Goodbye, rally. Goodbye, rally. So you're shedding people's abilities to do things. You're shutting down people's abilities. Oh, you got to try that? No. Rodigus got the glow up. I'm telling you right now. It's a little harder to get off, but when it does, man, oh man, that's just an extra tool in your arsenal to start taking things down. All right, let's see what else we have. The Great Unclean One as well. Great Unclean was another one that's really, really good because it's an unnamed character. You can add a lot of things to it. It's great. You got the ranged weapon of Noxious Bile, which can be shot in combat. Okay, range of 7. The attacks is D3 plus 3. Best case scenario, 6. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, rend 2, and damage 2. And then the colossal. It's like Danibals. Colossal Blight Weapons, which has 4 attacks. It is within melee range. 3 up to hit, 2 up to wound, 2 rend, and damage 4. This thing hits hard. Okay. The passive on the Great Unclean One, as while this unit is 10 units or more damage. While this unit has 10 or more damage points, attacks characteristic of its Colossal Blight Weapon is 3. So he's similar to Rodigus, obviously, because that is also a Great Unclean One. In your hero phase, you have the Plague One, casting value of 7 to use this. Plague Wind. Pick a visible enemy within 12 inches of this unit to be the target, and you cannot pick manifestation or terrain features, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. The effect is the target has the keyword disease. More ways to throw around disease. And again, having that 2d3 plus 1 damage by using your other abilities. Nasty, let me tell you. All right, I only have 2 Great Unclean Ones. I should get a 3rd one. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So we have once per turn for the army. All right. We have Locust of Nurgle. Declare and pick a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle Daemon unit that started the battle with 3 or more models that has been destroyed to be the target. Set up a replacement unit with half the number of the models, so half strength from the target unit, rounding up, wholly within 6 inches of the unit for the friendly feculent Narmal. More than 9 inches from all enemy units. Now, the feculent Narmal are going to respawn people, so we got those as well. So you got the half strength, bringing them back, and even more come back. Again, more characters on the field to be a threat. And it has a once per turn during your movement phase. Okay. Now, once per turn as well for the entire army. The end of any turn. End turn abilities. There's like 10 of them in here. Declare if the unit is damaged and pick up 3 enemy units in combat with this unit to be the targets. So you're fighting me. This is what's happening. Roll a d3 for each target, and on a 2-up, inflict the amount of mortal damage equal to the target's on the target equal to the roll. Oh, mortal wounds. Mortal wounds. Mortal wounds everywhere. Mortal wounds that you cannot defend against. Auto damage. Disease getting auto damage. The Scrivener is pretty good. But my favorite, the Sloppity Bilepiper. I've always loved him. People hate him. I don't know why. I think he's cute. These are Heralds of Nurgle, both of them. Okay. Sloppity Bilepiper, it's not impressive. You got 4 up to hit, 3 up to wound, 1 rend, damage 2, and attacks 3. But that's not why you take the Sloppity Bilepiper. You take the Sloppity Bilepiper because you can declare to pick visible models of Maggotkin of Nurgle demons wholly within 12 inches of this unit, or visible the enemy within 12 inches of the unit to be target. If you pick a friendly unit to be target, roll dice, and if you roll equal or exceeds the control characteristic, adds 2 to run rolls, making it faster. And it's a game of movement. And Maggotkin doesn't move very well. This is a 4-up move, right? So womp womp, right? But add 2 to the run rolls and charge rolls to the target until the next turn. You want to get things in battle? There we go. Throw your affectionate puppy in battle. That would be great. Yeah. If you pick the enemy unit to be the target of the roll of dice, if the roll equals C, this control characteristic, okay, good. Okay. So while this unit is on the battlefield, inflict D3 mortal wounds, more mortal wounds everywhere, right? Each time the target ends a move further from this unit, it was at the start of the move after the abilities used by the target has been resolved. So each time the target ends a move further from this unit trying to run away, goodness. And each time the target is removed from the battlefield and set up again on the battlefield further from this unit than it was before removed after the ability is resolved. So there it is. You're inflicting mortal wounds left and right. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. But that's once per turn, like basically every turn. Okay, that's really good stuff. And we do have the Spoil Sprox Scrivener, which has his mouth like a tube. It goes, and look, it's pretty cool. Disgusting Sneezes, that is so cute. All right, range of 7, a d6 attack, and hits on 2s, wounds on 4s, no rend, damage 1. Meh. But it is a ranged weapon, so that's pretty good. Anything that can have an effective damage radius for your guys, I would be welcome to. Melee weapons, you have Distended Maw, which is 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, meh, wounding on 3s, Rending on 1 rend and damage 2. Again, these are not fighting powerhouses. But once per turn, for the entire army, you just keep counting, I'm watching you. Pick a friendly Plague Bearer units. If you have to have your Plague Bearers, you can have fun with Plague Bearers here. Wholly within 12 inches of this unit to be targeted, roll a dice, and on a 2-up, pick one of the following effects that apply. You can do Tally of Blows, add 1 to the wound rolls for the target's combat attacks, doing more damage, or Recorded Stamina, add 5 to the unit's control score, and that's where you start getting control of the board. But one with the rule involved. I mean, I don't really go for control score unless I have to. You have, I like taking my enemies off the table as quickly as possible because I get hit back pretty hard, right? You have Stupefying Sneezes. I love the names of these, right? Declare and pick an enemy monster that has any damage points allocated to it in this phase by the unit shooting attack to the target. The target cannot use rampage abilities until the start of your next turn. Okay, and there they are. Very fun models that would be very happy to pay. Poxbringers are good. Sorry, my app is telling me that I have diabetes. They're good, but let's go up to the glow up ones, right? So we got Rodicus. I want to talk Glotkin. Can we get Glotkin here? These guys are okay. Plague Bearers, Nurglings. Nurglings are always great to tie things up. Horticlus Thymex. I love this guy. Look at him. I got him. I got to get him. He's cultivating the Garden of Nurgle. He is bringing some feculent narwhals with you. Remember, feculent narwhals. You can, once they're destroyed, you can bring them back, 1. And 2, they actually have a move characteristic. So they get to like resprout and root around the room. It's very thematic. I love that. I love that. Okay. We got Plague Drones and Beast of Nurgle. I love the Beast of Nurgle. He thinks he's like a little puppy, just wants to make friends. There goes some flies. All right, this dude. Festus, the Leech Lord. I love the older model. I absolutely adore this model. I can't wait to paint him. He is so much fun. Let's take a look at him right here. He's a big boy on a big mount. He has all of his like little plagueling things over here, little bottles. Oh, it's such a fun model. So I do not have this one. I want to have that one. All right, the Festus Leech Lord. Let's talk about him. The Gnarl Plague Staff, which does 3 attacks, 3's to hit, 3's to wound, rend 1 damage, D3 damage. Okay. Crit or auto wounds, so exploding wounds. Gaith Obelisk, Fanged Maw. Gaith Obelisk. I like that. Criticals are mortal wounds. I love that. Not auto wounds, but we're talking about mortal wounds. You know, yeah, I love that. All right, so we have 4 attacks, 4 hits, 4 up to hit, 2 up to wound, 2 rend, which is pretty good, and a little more stable, 3 damage per. Passive ability is while this unit has 10 or more damage points, the attacks characteristics of the Gaith Obvious Fanged Maw is 3. So there you go. We do have some degrading effects here. All right, on a 6-up. This nice little spell here. Thank you, Spellcaster. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the target, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. The effects here is this unit gains 1 leech point until the start of your next turn each time the target uses a core ability or a command after that ability has been resolved. Roll a dice, and on a 3-up, inflict 1 mortal wound, another mortal damage, on the target. Then, if any damage points were allocated to the target by this ability, heal 1 unit. We've seen this before. And it is beautiful. I think we've seen it on Rodicus, which is great. And then the once per turn affects the whole entire army. I love things that affect the entire army. Once per turn, every turn. Declare if the unit did not charge this turn, pick an enemy unit in the combat to be the target. You cannot pick manifestation or terrain features. Now, the effects here is you and your opponents must roll off again. There's that fun thing. And add this unit's control characteristic to the roll and the target's control characteristic to your opponent's roll. If your roll is higher, apply the corresponding effect. So you're rolling off again. We're having some fun rolling dice here. If the target is a hero or a monster, inflict an amount of mortal wound or mortal damage equal on the target equal to the difference between your rolls for your opponent's rolls. So if he's rolling weak and you're rolling strong, we got some stuff going on here. We got some wounds, mortal wounds, more mortal wounds. If the target is a non-hero, non-monster unit, one model in the target unit is slain. Bye-bye. It'll be canceled right there. I love this model. I think he's great. I'm only going to focus on certain one. The Maggotkin. Got to talk about the Maggotkin. All right, your move, as you can see, move of 6, health of 24, save of 4, and control of 10. Gurk's Tentacle, let me pull it down so you can see what he looks like. He's on top, and there's 3 brothers. There's this guy, right? This guy on top, and then the bottom dude, right? So there's 3 guys here, FYI. Pretty cool, right? I didn't notice that until later. I thought it was only 2, but there's 3 brothers. The story of the Maggotkin is actually pretty fun. There are 3 brothers, but we're not going to get into lore just yet. All right, so we have Gurk's Tentacle. Do with that as you will. You have 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, Ren 2, damage 5. Damage 5. That big old arm, that's old flankin' rankin', is going to slap you into next Tuesday. Then you have Gurk's Lamprey Maw, okay? And he has an attack of 3. 3 up to hit, 2 up to wound. Ren 2, damage 3. Pretty nice. And Auto Sight, which is the attack, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, 3 up to wound. A little less reliable there. With the wounding, Ren 1, damage 3, but I'll take it. So that is pretty cool. All right, again, battle damage over here. His tentacle is 3. The attack characteristic goes down to 3 if it's damaged. Okay. Your hero phase, Overgrowth of Flesh. To declare, you got to pick a visible model within 12 inches of this unit to be the target, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. On a 6 up, you're going to get it. So what you have here is roll a number of dice equal to the target's health characteristic. For each 5 up, inflict 1 mortal wound on the target for a maximum of 7 mortal wounds. 7 mortal wounds. If any mortal damage was inflicted on the target and the target was not a manifestation or terrain feature, it has the disease keyword. And you get the disease keyword. And 1. That's what I'm talking about right there. Ooh, I love it. Another passive ability is horrifying horrific opponents. Subtract 5 from the control score of enemy units while they are in combat with this unit, simply because they're too afraid of this thing to do just about anything else. Nasty. Once per turn for the entire army is a reaction. You can declare a counter charge command ability for this unit. It's called Blighted Stampede. So pick up to 2 friendly Maggotkin Nurgle units wholly within 12 inches of this unit to be the targets after the counter charge command for this unit has been resolved. If the units charge, each target can immediately use a counter charge command in order of your choosing without any command points being spent. Free. Once per turn. I love the Glocken. All right. And then we have, and that is their Rampage, using the Rampage ability. All right. Any combat phase, any, yours or mine, we're going to declare by picking the enemy or hero monster in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll a dice, and on a 4-up, for the rest of the turn, the target cannot move and cannot be removed from the battlefield by an ability that would allow it to be set up elsewhere on the battlefields. No uppy downies. No, not for you. Add 1 to the hit rolls for combat attacks that target that enemy unit. So now you're having extra hits on this target. This target is marked for death. Oh boy, Glocken is just killing it. Killing it. Any other glow ups? And we can talk about them. Morbid Twiceborn is fun. Got Rust, Galley's Plume, okay. Harbinger of Decay, Lord of Afflictions, Lord of Blights, Lord of Plagues, aka Drippy, Rotbringer Sorcerer. Got to have those magic users. Belaga, the Assist Wish. This is the new War Scroll for Belaga, the Assist Wish, which is great. So she has move of 4, health of 7, save of 5 up, and 3 control. And she has Ruptured Cyst. There she is. There she is. And she's riding or on top of this weird caterpillar thing, or maybe she's part of it. But fun. All right. Ruptured Cyst. Let's go. Declare a visible diseased enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the target, and then make a chanting roll. She's a priest of D6. The effect is inflict D3 mortal wounds, mortal damage on the target, and then inflict 1 mortal damage on each other diseased enemy unit within 3 inches of the target. If the chanting roll was a 9-up, you can also pick a friendly Plague Bearers unit within 12 inches of the target. For each enemy infantry model that is slain by the ability this turn, you can return 1 slain model to that friendly unit. And more come back. The more you die, the more pop up in your place to replace you. Oh my goodness. All right, we have the Scry of Filth. Let's go in there. All right, during your hero phase, you can pick one of the following effects to apply for the rest of your turn. Add 1 to the casting roll for friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle model wizards. While there are 3 inches within this unit, that's always great. Priests should stick together. I like it. Add 1 to the chanting rolls for Maggotkin of Nurgle priests. So you can be by priest instead of wizards if you want to have a little more mobility with your wizards. Okay. While there are 3 inches within this unit. So buffs. We gotta like that. So that is a new figure. We have the Putrid Blight Kings. They didn't do so well. Let's talk about the Putrid Blight Kings. I always loved the Putrid Blight Kings, so let's see. Alrighty, now we're talking about the move of 6. A move of 6. Oh my goodness, that would make it absolutely amazing. Move of 4, health of 3, 5-up saves. Meh. Control 1. Pox Blighted weapons. They're anti-priest and anti-wizard. So if you're fighting against wizards and priests, you get +1 rend. If not, you're doing 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, rend 1, damage 1. Lackluster. Okay, let's see what they have here. Discomforting stench. I'm sorry, I'm a little discomforted. All right, pick a visible enemy wizard or priest within 12 inches of this unit to be the target. Roll a dice. If the target is a wizard, and the roll exceeds the target power level until the start of your next turn, each time a casting roll for the target includes 2 or more rolls of 1 or 2 or more rolls of 2 or 2 more rolls of 3, the spell is miscast. That is one heck of a lot of upkeep there. That's a lot to remember. That's mental gymnastics right there. For me, anyway. For me. Anyway, if the target is a priest, however, and the roll exceeds the target power level until the start of your next turn, each time your opponent makes an unmodified chanting roll of 1 or 2 for the target, the prayer fails. Its effect is not resolved, and your opponent must remove D3 ritual points from the target. Again, meh. Totally different than the way they used to play. They used to be a little more bad-arshed. We got the Cankerborn over here. I mean, I like the horns. I like the weird-looking horns. Got some Rot Swords going on here. Again, new ones, nothing to scream home about. You have movement of 4, health of 2, save of 3 ups, which is nice. I think the save is better than the Blight Kings. So there's that. You got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, rend 1, damage 1. Right? Any combat phase. Declare and pick an enemy unit that charged and is in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll dice on a 3-up. The target cannot use commands for the rest of the turns. But Lowy, no commands again. So powerful. I like that. Okay, Rotbringers. All right, we got Pustule Blight Lords. Meh. What is this guy? Sloven Knights. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. The movement of 8 now. We're talking about quick ones. So movement of 8. Draw 1, save 4, save 3. Just going back to back. I would think that the Pustule Blight Lords here, Flyer Archers, on a charge you do +1 damage. 4 attacks. Hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, rend of 1, damage 1. Okay. Rotfly's mouth parts and sting, which is its companion. 6 attacks. But you're hitting on 4s. Wounding on 3s, no rend, and damage 1. It's okay. I like using the flies. I'm going to bring some flies. Maybe to try out that other strategy before, just for the flies, you know. All right. Passive, this first formation. This unit has coherency effect range of 2 instead of 1, which is pretty good. Their passive ability, add 1 to the rend characteristic of units, Fly Rider Arsenal for attacks that target enemy units contesting an objective. So these are your objective getters. They're fast. They're in there. And they're in your face. Strikes last ability on these guys, which is good as a highlight. We got Pestigores. Let's talk about the Shaman Foulhoof. These are new units that you can find in the new role-playing game. Not Silver Tower. I don't know. And I have it too. These are the new units. We have the Pestigores, move of 6. Good. Health of 2, save of 5. They're not very tanky. I don't think 5-up saves. So you have a corroded weapon, though. You have 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3, damage 1. They're the little guys. They have bestial desecration. I don't know why I couldn't read that for a second there. Add 1 to the rend characteristic of the unit, the melee units, if they're not within enemy territory. So if they're staying back on an objective, they get +1 rend when they're attacking. Then we have the Shaman Foulhoof over here, movement of 6, health of 5, save of 5, control of 2. You have the Rot Stave weapon. 3 attacks, 4 up to hit, 3 up to wound, rend 1, damage 3, and you have the spell with casting value of 7. Declare a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the target, and then make a casting roll of 2d6. Now the effect here is subtract 1 from the rend characteristics of the target's melee weapon until the start of your next turn. So if you have somebody with higher rend, knocks it down, makes you more survivable. In any combat phase, you have Rampant Defilement. You could declare or pick a friendly Pestigors, wholly within 12 inches of the target. Roll a dice on a 3-up, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the target's melee weapon for the rest of the turn. I don't see why you're not doing that all the time, right? You got the Pestigors, you might as well use them. This guy seems a little interesting right there. And the Pestigors, I hate Gores, but I'm kind of excited to paint them. They look pretty unique to the army as well. All right, we have the Pock Wretches, which I believe are coming from... Yeah, it's also new. Let's go then, the Pock Wretches. So we have a movement of 5, a health of 1, 6-up save. That stinks. They're very, very weak, but they auto wound on crits. They have 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, and damage 1. You're not using these because of their might of their weapons. Their passive abilities, however, Mire and Kelpness. This unit's Mire and Kelpies tokens. There are 6 Mire and Kelpies for every 14 models in this unit. Let's talk about why you would want those. The Contagion of Cathara. If the unit has any Mire Kelpies, pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. You cannot pick a manifestation or a terrain feature. Seems to be the theme. The effect is to pick any number of this unit's Mire's Kelpers and remove them from the battlefield, and then roll a dice. Adding 1 to the roll for each Mire Kelper, you remove this phase. On an unmodified roll of 1, this ability has no effect. On a 6-up, the target has the disease keyword. I mean, with the shenanigans of rolling the dice and adding 1 for the Mire Kelper, you can see that getting the disease is not that bad. It's not as insane as it looks. Now, if you had no Mire Kelpies, Mire Kelpies. If you have none of them, then I wouldn't attempt this. But if you're already giving all of them units, the Mire's Kelpies, you're giving yourself a favor and spreading that disease. And these guys over here, which I do not have, but I might pick up because they look a little fun to paint. I like little guys. The Rotmere Krieg. Coming to us from Warcry. 5-inch move, health of 1, control of 1, 6 up save. Again, nothing to write home about. Same thing as the Pock Wretches. The ranged weapons, the Contagion of Blowpipes, the their crits are auto wounding. Range of 12, which is good. Auto wounding range of 12 is good. We need that range. Attack 2, hit 4, wound 3, which is a little better. No rend, and damage 1. And then you have the Bilewood weapons, 2 attacks, 4 up to hit, 4 up to wound, rend none, damage 1. That's hard to hit with. They're passive though, the Virulent Concoctions effects. When picking an enemy unit to be the target of the infect effect by Blessed by the Plague Fogger, that was hard to say. When picking an enemy unit to be the target of the infect effect of the Blessed Plague Father ability, you can pick an enemy unit that has any damage points allocated to it by this unit shooting attack this turn to be the target, even if that unit is not within 7 inches of the friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units. You cannot pick a manifestation or create. So effective your range is increased, and you're going to want to be hitting with the Blowpipers anyway, because they have that 12 range of 12 attack. So just getting some shooting down. They look fun. And this one right here, the Feculent, the Feculent Normal, Beast Mode. Okay. So what we have is, it says 0 move, health of 7 and 5, but you got uppy downy. Okay. The infested maggot, infested mouth, has an attack, 4 attacks, hitting on 4s and wounding on 3s with the Ren 1 and a damage D3. So nice and nasty. I like that. The following abilities apply to this terrain feature, terrain 1.2. It's cover and unstable. So you can hide behind it for cover, and it's unstable so you can't climb it. Riddled with disease. Each time a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle Daemon unit wholly within 12 inches of this terrain feature uses the rally command, you can make 1 additional rally roll of D6. If that unit is a non-hero unit, you can make 3 additional rally rolls of D6 instead. Just bringing people back. Love it. Love it. The passive is Rot Blossom. Friendly Rotbringers units have a ward, a 5-up ward, like a Film Pain. While they are wholly within 12 inches of the terrain feature, make them more tanky. All right, next one. During any movement phase, for the rest of the phase, this terrain feature has a move characteristic of 3 inches and can immediately move 3 inches. It cannot move or end a move within combat ranges of enemy units, and it cannot end that move on an objective or other terrain feature. But these things can go with you into battle, making you that 5-up ward, making you a little more tanky, even more resilient, right? Even more. But note that it cannot use run, retreat, or charge abilities. It can't charge in. So this is not effectively another unit. This is still a terrain feature that gives you buffs. I love these things. Then, of course, you have their cycles of corruptions. Now, this is Armies of Renowns. I am still learning this. So there's that. And the Gardeners of Nurgle, you have battle traits as well. And heroic traits and all that other good stuff. Anywho, look at them. Look at them. I need 1 more of these. Oh, they're kind of expensive, though, for what you get. But still. Anywho, that is, of course, you have Plat the Glory, all the things. We have all the things here that we can definitely, if you have any questions, put them down into the comments and I'll do my best to answer these. You playing Path of Glory? Let me know. I've never done it before. In any case, and at any rate, let's see what's going on here. Oh my. Wait a second. Oh. That is not what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Boop. Okay. I was wondering what was going on there. All right, I'm going to be right back because I'm going to switch to the painting desk and I am going to paint some things. So please hold on while I use the restroom and get comfortable and set it in for some really great painting tutorials. I'll be painting some Space Wolves. If you have any questions about that, you just let me know. Thank you, everybody who is here online. Let me just see who is here. How many people do we have? We have 18 views. Oh, nice. That is nice. Okay. In any case, I wonder why this is going like that. It's because that's not what I see over here. Okay. Let me go back here. Boop. All right. Let me go back. I'll be right back. right, my brothers, I am going to be moving back. Alrighty. I'm not sure where my phone is, and I did have the phone earlier, so that's kind of weird. Oh goodness, I am gonna have to find it. Oh, here it is. Alrighty, let me see. Mm-hmm. All right, looking good. All right, here we are. Looking good. All right, so guys, I am staying on the chat to see how you guys are. I'm going to start painting right now. We just talked about, we just spoke about Maggotkin of Nurgle releases, so you can check that out. But right now, let's get into the painting mode. I want to finish this guy up before the end of the stream because I'm always trying to finish something up before the end of the stream. I'm going to get a lot of stuff going on here. This little guy is just base coated. Nothing too special going on with him. None of the edge highlightings or the black lining being done. I think we're going to start off with some edge highlighting. It was one of my favorite things to do in the world. But first things first, this thing is messy as all get out, and I mean, who doesn't have a messy's desk, right? This is how we roll. This is how we roll sometimes. Okay, so let's get into this guy raw here. Maybe I'll flip this over so you have a cleaner space to deal with, and I know that I can't go past this line over here when it comes to filming, which is good. That's good. I should have most of it. All right, making sure that everything is copacetic, working properly, is something we need to address before we start painting, because I could definitely get lost into the painting, and I want to make sure that I don't get lost into the painting, and be attentive to the people who are in the chat. I see 2 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so let's get started with some edge highlighting. Best thing ever. What do I want to use for edge highlighting? We're going to use some sky blue. Excellent vintage. I'll rip that up. I'm going to throw this in here. Okay. I go through more of these parchment papers than I really know what to do with. Some airbrush flow improver coming in here. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm sure we're going to talk about Grotmus on my later stream. Right now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do this, but I also want to add some Josana magic mix so I could slow down the dry time. Throw that in there with some airbrush and pluver, some impluvers. All right, mix that in together a little bit. And then going over here, make sure wick off any extra. Bring back over here and let's see where it is. It's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. I'm gonna wipe that off again. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right, let's do some harsh highlighting. I like doing the boot first. Looking good. I know some people are not a fan of edge highlighting, which is surprising. Honestly, I didn't edge highlight it back in the day as much as I do now. But I learned the value of it. Do you have to edge highlight? No, but edge highlighting it's sparkly. You want to have a pop. That definitely makes it pop. Okay, that's looking good. Am I hitting all the areas, especially the areas that are not in the sun? No, I'm not. I am not. I am just giving a nice little edge highlight onto things, and I'm going to go up and clean any edge highlight that was a little too much. But I like the slow dry of the Josana's mix because it gives me more workable time. Now, my edge highlighting is a little thicker because I'm using a Citadel brush. So I am going to switch that up. Rather be painting, right? All right, let's see what the other brush does. The way the belly holes and everything else. That Kalinsky Sable baby. Let's see what it does. See if it's any better. Oh, yeah, it is. It's a much thinner line. And you have the right tool for the job, you know? Just things work. And it's not really hard to do edge highlighting. Take practice though. You can't just, I can't just pick up a pen and be good at, pick up a brush and be good at something. Okay, I have to intentionally practice to increase that skill. Sometimes I'm frustrated. It's like, I just want this to work. Have you ever gotten frustrated like that? You just want something to work. Come on, why isn't it working the way I want it to? Now I made it worse. Yeah, I think we've all, as painters, I think we've all had those days. At that point, I just pick up a video game and say, you know what? It's not the day. And once the hobby does not become enjoyable, I don't do it. But luckily for me, it's very rare that the hobby becomes unenjoyable, because this is the part, seeing the results of hard work for years and years of trying to improve is the best thing for me. It is the best thing. I can look back. I have looked back this year. I did a year in review. You can check that out on my channel. If you're here, you can watch that too. I might turn off some of these ads because they seem to be a little annoying even while I'm looking at this. I think maybe, can I turn on ads after you watch them and not during? I'm going to look into that, and I apologize. And I'm very grateful for those who's sticking through all these ads. Yeah, we're just going to finish this one guy up because everybody has to finish one guy up. And I'll be live later with other hobbies. I think, I hope. And we could talk about some chaos goodness that they dropped on Grotness, which is pretty awesome. I like the Red Corsair's paint scheme. You can do it really well. Plus, you know, the Badab War is something I've been researching again. Because I've been watching videos on it, and with that obvious mistake. Now I'm going to clean it up. Like an eraser. Yeah, so messed up with Hutch highlighting. That's okay. All you have to do is use a little bit of water and your eraser, and you're good to go. Your makeshift painting eraser, I would say. Which is fun. All right, let's see. Okay, there it is. Whoop. There it is. Shakalaka, shakalaka. There you go. Obvious mistake again. So if you're edge highlighting and make a mistake, I wanted to show you. It's just not the end of the world. Like a lot of people, oh my gosh. Just take out your eraser. And that is your damp brush, and go back over it. Just clean up areas that are a little bit junky. Okay. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit this. This is fun. It's fun because it's working, right? It's great. Love it when a plan comes together, kind of thing. If you have any questions while I'm painting, just, you know, feel free to ask away. What models are you on your desk? What are you painting right now? And if you're not painting, what models are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the Maggotkin of Nurgle releases? I know I am. I want Festus. I want that dude. Dude seems like a fun guy to have. Fun guy. You're like, wait a second. We're not talking about the Gloom Spike Gits here. Those are fun guys with fun guy. They really are tripping. Oh, this is fun. Look how alive this is coming out. Just the lines here, little lines there really change up a lot of what's going on here. All right. If you have any questions about the Battletome as far as looking at individual characters or something like that, I can definitely go back and check out something else once I'm done painting this guy. But I definitely wanted to get on the hype train, so to speak, and talk a little bit about Maggotkin of Nurgle. I know I cover a lot of 40K content on this channel. I know I do. Because I like 40K too. But I do like, and my wife likes more, Age of Sigmar. Not that she dislikes 40K. She just thinks AOS is a lot less convoluted, and I can see your point. But as long as they come out with really cool models and paint schemes, I am going to keep painting 40K. I haven't played 40K 10th edition yet, but it's typical of me. I get in a game towards the end of every edition. I play at least once. Usually, within 3 years, I get at least one game in. This 3-year release cycle, it's pretty brutal, especially if you want all the things. Like, if you don't care if you get all the things, then it's fine. Then you just have to worry about your one army. If you have multiple armies, it can be both expensive and nerve-wracking to keep up with the releases. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't release new things. But I wish that it was a 5-year release cycle instead of a 3-year release cycle. That would give me enough time to paint and play armies, instead of doing what I'm sure Games Workshop loves, which is just keep buying their stuff. And then eventually I know I'm going to play it. I am loving up this edge highlighting because it's looking really snazzy when I do that. I am having fun with these guys. I need to work on another Skaven tutorial. I do have some more material to publish when I have some time to edit videos, which is, I know I have some days off now that I'm a teacher, so I'm going to have some time to do it. Although, most of my times, if it's not painting, it's hanging with the fams and hanging out and doing things. I have this 1,000-piece D&D puzzle that I'm working on as well, which is fun. Making a real wide line because I want to cover up some of the gold that I went over a little too far with. And that is a trick when you're separating one area from another to cover up some of those mist strokes you may have done with your paintbrush. Actually cover up some mist strokes, which I'm had highlighting. People didn't know that. And yes, I am going to be doing tutorials as well as live shows, but live shows are a lot easier to edit. Even though I do have to change the title to that, I messed up. I didn't even know how to change the title until after the stream is over, so. Okay. Check in the chat really quickly. Everybody is doing well, I hope. We have 2 people watching. You guys are epic. Thank you for joining me through this. Are you listening to me as background noise? Some people say I have a very smooth voice and like listening to me. My hobby, and it relaxes them. Does my voice sound soothing to you? Is it relaxing to you? Is it butter? Or is it margarine and I just think it's butter? Maybe I can't believe it's not butter. All right. In any case, look at all these beautiful highlights. That is pretty. So much better with those highlights. So much better. Okay. Get some more highlights here. Sometimes. Sometimes you forget to add them on, which is fine. It's fine, especially for the feet, because the feet is going to have some snow on it. Nice rainy day. Today is a nice little rainy day. Perfect for painting up Warhammer models. Okay. Just looking okay. It's a bit rough. So I'm just going to clean you up. Okay. That is looking sharp. It's looking sharp there. All right, what are we going to do here? Now we're going to blackline stuff. Adding some shadows. Delineating one area of armor from the next. Also put some more contrast between your edge highlighting and the black background you're creating. Almost like a silhouette. Which, yeah. Again, I'm not too worried about the lower feet because there's going to be snow there, and whatever I put down there is going to be, the snow is going to detract from it, you know? So you got to ask yourself, is it worth the effort on some parts? And you have to think about, well, am I going to add terrain bits here? Am I going to have weathering here? Am I going to, what are you going to do with that area first off? And from there, you can start making some decisions that are based on evidence. Which is what we make decisions by. We just don't wildly guess everything. Having elements that are fact-driven will help us to become better painters, better anything, really. Okay. Well, hello, David the Nurgling. I am very glad that you are here. If you want to catch any of that Maggotkin of Nurgle release, it'll be forgiven if you went earlier to this video so you can see that I got some of that leak goodness, exclusive leak goodness, and I shared with everyone because I am super excited about Maggotkin of Nurgle, and I think I'm going to want to paint up Death Guard and Maggotkin of Nurgle. Like, if I'm going to paint up one, I might as well paint up both, and since I have both armies, it would be fun to paint. And then I get to learn how to paint whites and greens, maybe ivories and greens. I mean, that's sort of the first company, you know, sort of Dark Angels kind of territory. So maybe I'll just do the green, sickly green. And sickly, sickly green. I love it. But I'll get to learn how to paint up injuries, bruises, and pustules, and all of my few of my favorite things. No, but Nurgling is pretty good. I always see people play Nurgle while at conventions, even if they don't have Nurgle armies, if you know what I mean. Like, why do people at conventions have plumber's cracks? Should keep an eye on that and manage your plumber's crack. Any case, just a dude playing a dude who's thinking he's another dude. Just a dude wanting to be able to breathe at conventions. Am I asking too much? Sometimes you are, Rob. A black lining is pretty as important as to really get the full effect of your highlighting. I think you need to do your black lighting too. Black lining. Or, getting the recesses nice and dark, because that just will make your edge highlighting really pop. Oh, that's looking gorgeous. David the Nurgling says, at the moment I'm making Sons of Horus custodes. Sons of Horus custodes? That sounds fun. That sounds really fun. That sounds like a lot of conversion. That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Custodian army. I think I'm selling mine. If you're interested. I have 2 combat patrols and a Christmas box. And a partridge in a pear tree. So if you're interested in custodians, Or if you want me to paint up the golden boys for you, I can be contracted too. This way I get the joy of painting them up. Doing tutorials on the channel. Earning a little bit of extra income. Yep. David the Nurgle says, any ideas for the bases? I am running them as Death Shroud. With Custodes, I like marble. I like marble bases. And one of the things you can do to use marble bases, you take a dryer sheet and you start like ripping it apart a little bit so it gets that uneven veining and it has clouds and stuff like that on it. Makes it really, really look nice. So that's really good. So I like to do custodes on marbles. When I do my custodians, probably sell it. I'm going to have all marble floors. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be definitely Terra inspired. But with Custodes, they could be on any planet, really. Adding elements of fire that do, if you really want to do secondary source lighting, adding elements of fires will increase the challenge rating of your paint job. And it'll show, like anybody who paints would be like, dang, it's like doing Harlequins. You know, people know you put the effort in and they respect it. Then they tell themselves, I ain't never doing that. But having lava bases would definitely upgrade. And you'd have to actually include the reflections. That'll be difficult to do. But me, I'm going to do marble, but I'm going to do reflective marble. So hear me out here. I am going to get like a mirror image going on the floor of the person above it. Maybe try to paint the mirror image in. That would be cool. And all I would have to do is put this guy and tack him like onto a mirror. Well, the custodian. Tack him onto the mirror and just glaze his outline on the floor. So I'm getting some of the colors bouncing off of the army person and come on the floor. So that's just adding some gold to them. That would be kind of cool. But for Custodes, my personal opinion, again, you can paint them. Well, not again, because I didn't say it the first time. You can paint them anything you want. I know people who have done some interesting things with Custodes, painting them blue and all kinds of things. Silver. I might add a little more silver to my Custodes. Only because it just adds just a little more variation. You know, and I do like playing around with color interest. Alrighty. The line was a little too saturated, so I was glazing in some of the base color to get some coverage and to neaten up that edge highlighting. Death Shroud Terminator. I love it. Hordes of Custodes. Are you saying you're painting them as Death Shroud Terminators? So you're painting them as Death Guard? Death Guard Custodes. That is bad arse. Let me tell you. Good stuff. I think I want to blackline some on his arm. I always look over the model because I always miss something. I'm starting to think that dementia or something. I don't know. All right, that looks phenomenal now. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. That looks pretty good. All right, let me go inside here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Little outline. David, I so appreciate you. Thank you for joining, hanging out. You're amazing. Okay, time to another one of these heads. Who am I picking next? I've done him. Maybe him? Nah, you know what? I'd like to do a different skin color on him. He does not look... I mean, he can. It's pretty ambiguous. All right, I'm going to paint this face up. Let's see. David says there are custodies that were sent into the warp. Oh. So then now the lava basis does make a difference. You should have at least one army that has a lava base, another army that has like a... But if they're influenced by Nurgle, though, I mean, having seething pools... if I'm doing custodies, right? They went into the warp, they came back, and they got infected with Nurgle's rot, right? I would do this same marble floor, but I would crack the floor and have pustulant ooze start coming up. I was thinking maybe some resin cure clear resin, and mixing a little bit of something like either a bright ink. Let me see if I can get that over here. Yeah, so mix this up here. Having something like this, a light green, and make it all radiant. You can do that, or you want to put that down first and then put a nice little Battletome green as well, and that would make it sticky and ooey and gooey. Oh, so good, so good. Like I use this for my rats when it comes to their gnaw holes and stuff like that. That's super bright, but I would bring it down a tone. I think this would definitely play. You can even go emerald. I don't know why I have this on here. You can even go like a nice little emerald green or a light green. This is nice. It'll flow. It'll radiate. It'll glow. Sort of like the plasma glow that people are using inks. It'll glow. It'll radiate. Disgusting. Okay. David says that long they become mad and think David is the new Horus and worships him. I love where you're going with that. That's a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. All right, what color should I paint his hair? I'm going to do aged hide this time. I'm just going to use some speed paint instead of doing shade. And I'm going to throw that in here now. That tends to ruin brushes, so I'm going to go back to my Citadel brushes in order to mess around and find out. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of this slow dry into it because slow dry. That's looking pretty red. You would be a redhead. Using speed paints to paint hair. You just can't do it in one pastel. You think you can, but I like it a little bit darker. I love the way it goes into the recesses and tints everything. Okay. Okay. This is great for basing because it's very translucent and you can add highlights to it. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You now have orange hair. You, sir, are gingery. There's nothing wrong with that. David's a hero in the chat. Painting up his custodes. Is warp tainted. Something I have never heard of, which makes it super cool and interesting. Look at that. Very fiery. Very orange. Very orange. But knowing me, I'll probably tone it down with a little bit brown to make the orange not be fluorescent or poppy. I don't want it to be too poppy. Because orange is not a color that's on the rest of the model. So having it pop too much might detract. You, sir, are a hot mess. All right, let me take some of this. Your mouth parts, because that's going to be pink. I have never painted orange hair. Now, I'm going to let that dry. That's important. Then I am going to come back and do that with some hardened leather. Let's see if I can make some hybrid, more believable hair color here. I think I can. Okay, let's get some water in here. Okay, now just touch. Yeah. There we go. Just muting down the orange so it's not so fluorescent and more believable hair color. I think this brown is definitely doing it. That is looking good. Okay. There it is. That's looking pretty good. Still didn't lose its orangeness. Certainly a different color. All right, gotta take some white, gotta mix it with some red over here. I'm gonna pull it over to this side, make a nice little pink. And with that pink. Odd Tiny ARTV says, hi all, what minis that head from? Oh, that is from my Wolf Guard. I am working on Space Wolves right now. I think I'm going to be working on Maggotkin of Nurgle soon. So there is that. But yeah, Odd Tiny ARTV. I got to check out your channel, bud. Yeah. Yep, just working my way back to this head. Anyway, yeah, I have this really easy method of painting faces, which involves one coat, zenithal, skin color, and then paintbrush everything else. Some glazes, but most of the hard work will be done, especially when you have desaturated faces. I like that for the grim darkness of it. Of course, I wouldn't really go into competition with this face, or maybe I would. I don't know. It looks pretty good. But I definitely spend more time on upping the contrast. If this was for competition. But right now, display quality, but headed for the tabletop is what I go for. Oh, hey, thanks. Been working on the on these guys. You can see this is a finished one. And I have 40 blood claws, and these are the gray hunters. I have 30 of these to paint up. Lots and lots. And I appreciate that you you like the paint job. I thank you. It's an honor. That is an honor. Desaturate this just a little more. Get the hair a little more brown. It's still gingery. I don't want his hair to be neon. And I like painting their eyebrows. Okay. Pretty good. This guy just has the goatee. There. There we go. That's looking good. Most awesome. We have 4 absolute legends in the chat right now. It's pretty cool. If you are here from Maggotkin of Nurgle, the new release, the beginning of the show. Check that out if you're interested. If you're here just to paint and hang out, by all means, paint and hang out. That's what we are here for. I have to change the title of this video. I pressed start streaming on my Stream Deck and did not, it did not at all allow me to put the title to this video or a thumbnail or anything. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to roll with this right now. And now I know better for next time. Okay. All right, getting bronzish gold and just painting these nodes. A little bit of edge highlighting. There's 2 of them. I think that copper is really going to make it stand out without getting his ear or anything like that. There it is. Look at that. Look at those 2 little nodes. That is so great. It's so much fun. Okay, speaking of which, I'm going to paint you. Gold as well. And while I have this here, why not? copper right now. I'm going to highlight it with gold. I'm going to paint your top knot band with gold. So, how do you like that? You're all fancy. Gray hunters have been around for a while and they have experience. So you should have the fancy stuff. Stuff is gold and na 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 na. All right, there's a copper first. It really does a great job with his red hair, the copper. So I'm going to hold back on a little bit of the gold, even though this is a very warm gold, Retributor armor. So I usually mix with some other things, but yeah, we're not. We're just going to have some fun today. I'm not going to overthink it. All right, I'm going to put a little spot Eggins gold here on the right-hand side. Just touch those nodes that are tricky. Nice. And then this little dot here, just on the top of that dot and the top of this dot. So this way it has a transition from the gold to the copper. And that, folks, is how you paint TMM in an NMM style. True metallic metal in a non-metallic metal style. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to get a little bit of black here that I left from the night before, and I'm just going to go over the black under exoskeleton, endoskeleton. Their black weave that they have ceramite. And they have beneath their armor that's connected to their skin. So got to do that. Alrighty, so that is looking good. Now to do eyes. All right, to do eyes, I am going to go and let me see. I can just pull Wraithbone. Now, I've done Ivory. But lately I've been on a Wraithbone kick when it comes to eyes. It looks globulous. Look at that. That's terrible. All right, I think I'm going to get a new wax paper. Is it wax paper? Parchment. I'm going to get another parchment paper in just a bit because that's looking a little full. I go through them. That's for sure. All right, but first things first, my Winder Newton 0. And let's get some eyes here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of the Josana's Magic because it has a drying retarder there. Maybe some flow improver. Mix that together with this Wraithbone. All right, and now I should put on my special glasses. I am going to paint eyes glasses, which is right here. And I am going to turn on the light. I think eyes are tricky. I don't care who you are as a painter. Getting eyes right can be tricky. Okay. All right. It's looking good. His face is a little blue. Gotta get a little closer so I can keep it in focus. There it is. More rainbow. Eyes are one thing that if you get wrong, you just have to repaint it. It's very unforgiving. There. Look at that. That's looking. Whew. That's looking real good. If you can see it like this. Boom. But, I think that is looking phenomenal. Now to put some black dot on the eye. And I need new black paint because that black paint is way too diluted. And I'm gonna put this back in so it's not hitting my face. And I am gonna get some more black paint. I'm gonna do the eyes. Trying to leave room for dots within the eyes. You don't want to do eyes as slits. You could. Space Wolves, after all. But I don't. I don't like that. I don't like losing them as slits. I like doing little semicircles. The semicircles include a little dot right in the middle. All right, let's get some, just on his magic, some flow improver. So what I want to do is put a dot in there and it stay. Dot has to be a semicircle. That was tough. All right. I have to use, I'm going to paint eyes goggles for the entire mini nowadays. Yeah. Uh-huh. See, the paint is so small, it's drying before I get to touch the mini. Looks like he's rolling his eyes now. All right. Okay. Now, that's pretty good. But I gotta go back with Rainbow and clean up the inner eye. Because if not, he's gonna look like he's looking at himself. That's really good. Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. All right, now get some pink in here that I mixed earlier. Let's put some of that in your mouth. That's bubblegum. Now, some of that excess. Okay. 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 Now what I'm going to do is add some teeth. If they don't have teeth, I like adding each individual tooth. For me, it helps me get more brush control, because you can easily mess that part up. And looking like you got some fangs going on, which I do not oppose. There we go. A little bit of pink. Got some fangs going on. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. Paint eye goggles. I'm going to do the goggles. Paint eye goggles. Eye painting goggles are really good at what they do. Okay. Now that that face is looking pretty good. Almost looking like he's rolling his eyes. I think that's fun. I think that is fun. Okay, now let's go. Now that we have there, let's take the head and put it on. Alrighty. Like, he looks so tough. This dude, he looks so tough. Oh my gosh. All right, so now what I'm going to do is got to rinse off my my eye painting brushes, my Series 70. Why are eyes so small? Warhammer miniatures. They enjoy torturing people. Okay. All right. Speaking of small, I want to do little dots right here. Here, these little bolts need to be painted. You can leave them blue, but I'm extra. And I need everything just about perfect. Okay. Put some of that on there. Okay. Okay, where else? What else? That's looking pretty good. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. Dope-a-dope. Rope-a-dope. Some more of that amaranth blue, and I am just going to darken this part here. It's blending a little too much to the face, and I want it to be a little more separated. So I'm going to do a little surgery here on the face. The separation of the armor. And skin. I think that would do wonders to pronounce the separation. Okay, good. That's pretty good. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right. This gun is too shiny, so we're gonna darken it down a little bit. Busting out the nun oil and using wash the way it was intended for once. Put some on there and just darken everything down with the gun. Way too shiny for my taste. So this is the first gun I have shoulder saddled, I guess. That's interesting. Okay. You looking good there, buddy. Might as well get this weapon while I'm at it. Okay. All right, there you go. There you go. Oh yeah, Pigma liners. Oh yeah, you know it. I like doing all the dark inches with the Pigma liners. Just so much easier for me. Excuse me. They had a tool for better edge highlighting. For some people who don't have brush control, would be great. Alrighty, now that I have that weird color, I think grabbing some orange and doing some ultra highlights on the hair would be nice. Right? So his tips are going to be a little more highlighted. All right. I need thicker. This is great for glazing though. So I'm just going to glaze a little reflection of the hairline. Okay, just make it a little bit brighter. Right there. Little line of light highlight. It's going to be right there. And right here in the front of the face. Because that would add more interest to the face. And I'm always trying to add more interest to what I'm painting. A little more interest, a little more detail. And I think orange tips of his hair really adds something to it, you know? And that just seems fun. All right, look at that. Let's start now. Now, the edge of the tips, a little bit brighter. And that's just straight glazing. All right. I'm putting a little dot of orange on each one of these things because it was just way too dull. This looked like a little turtle cap. Which is weird. I don't want my model to be weird. Now I'm going to do a line straight across from the darkest shadow. So it looks like it's glowing right there. Oh, Rob, you're obsessed. I am. But am I? David says, goodbye, good luck with the Space Wolf. Thank you, David. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you watching. Amazing. I'm going to add some orange to this. Since we're glazing orange to it. A little bit of a highlight. Just a little. You don't want too much. You don't want it to invade the other colors. So we'll do a nice little highlight. I'm doing a little bit of red around it. Darken it up just a little bit so it reads as red and not really orange. Nice. Nice. All right, painting you up. You're looking pretty good, and now it's time. More blue. Hit something with a little orange there, and I'm going to change the tone of it. There it is. There it is. It came out. That's good. All right, looking beefy. Looking beefy. Time for the base. The base. The base. All right. Let's see if we can get the base. I'll get a base. Where are the bases? Let's get the frog tape out of here. You're asking yourself, why do I have frog tape on here? Well, it has multiple uses. But this particular container ran out. So what I did was I took a whole bunch of spare pits and I threw them in here for my bases. And that's what I did with the frog tape. All right, so let's see. Let's give this person some place to live on. It's looking pretty tough. Alrighty. All right, just sticking them on with some poster tack. It's looking good. Now I am going to get my other mini holder. Nice. All right, here's the other mini holder. It's looking pretty good on here. And now we're going to add some stuff to it. But what should we add is the question. And of course, snow is going to be the thing we add. But it's not the first thing we add. The first thing we add is get some pine bark. I got this from my local nursery. No, not kid nursery. I'm talking about plants. That might be a little too high. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this back a little bit. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. Now we're going to turn it upside down to get a flatter area. And now it looks like a log. Like that. Let's have a log. It's log. It's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. It's log. It's log. It's better than bad. It's good. Everyone loves a log. Come on, get your log from Blammo. All right. We should have a big old Xeno skull hanging there. Why not? Should we have an orc? Ooh, that would be something. Or maybe. And after all, I wonder. Desert Coliseum said, I'll send you $10 to paint my kill zone squad. My kill team. Well, here's the thing. Every time I sit down to paint, especially for somebody else, I'm giving time up with my daughter. And How much would you charge for giving time up with your flesh and blood? How much would that cost to you? Would it cost you $10? Would that be enough to paint, I don't know, 30 or 40 hours of not spending time with your family? And if that is the case, then I'm very sad. That's kind of sad, because it's like my time is more valuable than that. And the years of experience, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for me making mistakes for 10 years straight, at the very least, learning from those mistakes and improving as a painter. However, if it was for a charity stream, somebody was dying, I think that was a good cause, then I would be able to do it. But, yeah, I don't want to sell myself short. Nothing personal. I'm sure your kill team will look absolutely phenomenal. But if you do want to hire me, I'm not exactly what you would call cheap, but I am pretty good. It'll look pretty good. You take it to the gaming store and everybody will be like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. I remember every time I paint the mini, I hide a little TMP logo there somewhere. So if you do put it in a painting competition, people are going to notice. I've entered enough competitions that the judges know my mark. So be careful with that. Don't claim it's your own work. Is all I'm asking. But don't worry. Desert Coliseum. One day, pretty sure AI and computers are going to get so good, they're going to paint these for you. One day, if they could drive cars, then they'll be able to paint these. But there's a lot of nuances to it. Wouldn't that be cool? Just choose the colors and the gradients and stuff. Although, I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd still paint my own because I love the creative process. And I love doing it. Like, it's just fun. All right. Look at you, orc guy. Orc man dude. Orc man dude. He died there. I should get his jaw. Put his jaw somewhere else. What do you think? Nah, we'll leave it like that. Maybe get his jaw. Who knows? Who knows? Nothing can. Yeah, I'm not gonna get his jaw. Get his jaw for something else. Okay. That would be a sad day. Yeah, I know. I love my family. I think they're absolutely amazing. And I'm jealous for time to spend with them. Just like I'm jealous for time to spend with you guys online. You guys are my buds. My hardcore. My TMP Legion. We're painting every miniature to increase at least one skill. And whose backlogs are getting ever smaller. For my peoples. All right, now what should I add to this? Should I add a human skull? Of course you should add a human skull. Xeno skull, human skull. And is there anything from the bits barn that I want to get? Where's the bits barn? What will fit on there? A whole axe? Nah. You'll be able to hold a whole axe? That would be cool. Ooh. Stalker. Although, yeah, it's not really facing the same way, is it? Nah. Not you. You're not getting the axe. I have this axe. Maybe I can break the axe, put it on here. I don't know. Oh, what's this? Without a thunder hammer? Yeah, it won't fit though. Right between his legs. These boots are too big. Oh, I could have a little sheeted blade, maybe. Odd Tiny TV says, no, it would be really sad. Oh, geez, no, I meant it would be really sad. The day AI will take over mini painting, not your family. Oh, well, yeah. No, it would be sad if I sacrificed my family time for $10 to paint up somebody else's minis. But yes, you are right. I guess it would be sad. I guess more people will be playing the hobby and they will be buying miniatures at a faster rate because everything they build be able to paint. And not everybody has the skill or the time to put it away. I mean, to learn. And in the end, you'll have more people to fight with, I guess, in the game stores. But I see your point. It'd be kind of sad. AI takes over. Okay. I think we're just going to add some stuff here and some stuff here. Why not? I'll probably put a human skull over here. Maybe some stuff over there. Okay. Now, that being said, I'm going to take my road gravel. Gosh, I love road gravel. Spacing material, Ava. Well, some of it. I got coconut strands over there. Okay, these came together in a big globulus of globulations. So why don't we put you? It's pretty big. I don't know how that would look. You know what? I'm going to get my tweezers out and put some rocks here. That looks pretty good. Some slate rocks. Okay, now I'm going to get this. Lean it on the rocks a little bit. See that there's a dagger on the floor. Missed it though. Oh man is too busy looking so very cool. Boy, does he look cool. To be able to notice that. Some rocks in here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Some slate and rock. A lot of this is going to get covered. Snow. But it's going to look like some rocks are poking through, which is exactly the way I want it. Oh, one more thing. Let's get a Citadel skull. Let's get the human skull. Who is skulking about? Anybody excited for the Maggotkin of Nurgle? I am. How about the dark water thing, though? Is that fair? Is that fair? Who knows? No. All right. Now, I'm going to grab this by the eyes. Put them in the eyes right there. No, it doesn't work. All right. I'll grab it by the jaw. Ugh. Everybody watch that Jake Paul fight? Oh my gosh. Somebody said, welcome to the big leads, boy. Broke his jaw. All right, that's looking pretty decent. I may want to multi-layer this rock right here. So that means I'm going to have to put a little bit here. Odd Tiny ARTV says, I painted tons of friends minis for free. Those friends were the ones who quit playing. So I have a little different take on the easy access for more people to join the hobby equation. That makes sense. I can see that. I can see being burnt by people who are like, look. But this is what I do, okay? I collect a ridiculous amount of armies for both AOS and 40K and Warcry and for Warhammer Underworlds and for what's the football one? It's on third season now. The Spike Ball now. Oh my god. Something ball. I have a lot of armies and in my cases. So when guests come over that are my friends, it's like, hey, I've never played Warhammer before. It's like, grab an army, here's a codex. Let's have some fun. Let's roll some dice. Here are the rules. And we just jump in. There's like zero barrier to entry. It's just fun. All right, I'm going to take this guy off. Come with me. I'm going to stick him back on here because he still has decals and stuff that I need to do. And I wanted to make sure that his base was situated and the paint dry and the glue dry before I attack it. So let's go. We're up to the 4 o'clock. I think by 5 o'clock I'll be done, and I will go eat dinner with my family. But I should be done. Okay, let's see. He's looking pretty tough, walking around, not very happy. Yeah, he's looking good. All right, let's see. Get some decals. What kind of legs does he have? He has a big one there. So I could put something big on there. What do I want to put on there? Let's try something really thick. Maybe a big old wound. Oh, no. I know. I'm going to put a campaign marker. But having a little bigger would be nice. How about these? You take the food lion symbol. I mean, the wolf that walks the stars. Food lion, yum. And why don't we be friends? Why don't we put that in the drink? And I'm going to put it in my web palette because, I don't know, because. And then I'm going to get a campaign marker. Let's get this paw right here. Okay, he's been in the Paw Patrol, Paw Campaign, the Paw Paw. Okay, now there, and for the backpack, let's get something. I'm gonna make a freehand easy, but I want to use these up. So why don't we be friends? Okay. I might keep on using that. Let's take this red arch. By the way, these pigment markers, I have them in every color that they make. So it's really cool to do freehand with, especially if you're doing something like cardons or something like that. That would be cool. Okay, so we only have 3, which is not my normal. No, I need another one. Let me use the Grey Hunter's pack symbol. Alrighty, so Odd Tiny ARTV says, I have to go. It's been a pleasure to spend some time here. I just subbed. Thank you. So I'll be able to catch some more of your next painting sessions, mate. See you next time. Always an honor. And for those two still in the chat that are absolutely epic legends, thank you for staying in the chat, although you're being quite quiet, which is fine. Sometimes it's good to hear a fellow painter just paint. And it feels like we're painting together. Like if you're across from me and we're just like painting up some minis, talking to Gab. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Oh, and I have to do another white one. Oh, I forgot. I have to do another one. Always appreciate a nice sub. Oh, yeah, let me cut off the shoulder pauldron for pauldron shoulder's sake. That is nice. All righty. Coming through, coming through. All right. Now we're going to get you there. There's some decals down. Ah. Why don't we be friends? You look like you're ready to come out. Okay. La 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 la. Skibbity bibbity papa. Oh, wolf that walks the stars. La la la. You're in. Okay. A little bit of news. A little bit of painting, because I'm always be painting. Always painting. My backlog, I always have to be painting. Always be painting. All right, ABP. Okay, so let's get some microsol. A little bit to this. Get it like nice and soaked. And what we're doing is melting the decal just a little bit so it can conform to the irregular space. There's that knee pauldron. That's looking pretty good. Pretty snazzy. All right. Let's see this one here. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? My wolf guard. My wolf guard. They are highly decorated. One, they're champions of Fenris. So they've all been through a couple of sagas. Been there, done that, wrote the book on it. All right, I still have microsol on here, so it's going to start conforming decal here. There. It's looking good. Alrighty. Next up, I'm going to do the back of his backpack. I'm going to put a little marking right in that middle circle right there. Because it's kind of cool. All right. Na 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 na. There, that looks nice. Okay, now where else? Now the shoulder pauldrons. Let's start with this. All right, that looks like it's going to lift pretty easily. So, yeah, I had to get on because of the Maggotkin of Nurgle release and because that's time sensitive, and I got the leak. So hopefully it'll spark new viewers. But it would have been nice if I changed the wording on it. Sometimes I'm a hot mess. Sometimes. I have not eaten anything today. Should have breakfast, but it's already dinner time, so. Have you ever gotten so into it you forget to eat? Maybe it's just me. Thoroughly obsessed. All right, gonna hit more microsol on that. Wolf that walks the stars here. That's a big old decal. Sure is. Alrighty. Okay. All right, there we go. Good. Looking good with your decals. You go with your decal self. Okay. That's looking good. Weird, because I'm painting and I'm looking at the chat and I'm actually getting ads. It's bothering me, so I think I'm gonna remove ads while they're live. And then if you catch a show afterwards, like your reward for catching it live is you get no ads, right? What do you think about that? Or maybe just get it at the beginning and the end, and then that's pretty much it. That might work as well. All right. Now that's looking pretty good. Let me see where the glue's drying over here. I think what we're going to do, decals dry. So we're going to add some of this Magnet Baron into set. Magnet Baron's a pretty good dude. He's blind, actually. And it doesn't hurt him. He is CEO of a major corporation. And, well, major business for our hobby. And one of the nicest people. Seriously, if you're ever at a convention and you see Magnet Baron, say hi. Very knowledgeable, very nice. Very cool dude. There's a lot of cool people in this hobby that I've met. There's a lot of people I've met in this hobby because of the hobby itself. And it's an amazing experience. It really is. golden age of mini painting and all that jazz. All that jazz. All right, now let's get the micro set in. If I can find it. There you are, hiding behind the flow improver. And I am going to set these gals. Boom. Boom. That's good. All right, so while that's on there, set in setting solution. Beep. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna take a Q-tip and I'm gonna crush these decals onto the surface. Let your perma on. Good. And let me see over here. Nice. And over here. Okay. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Okay. Pretty neat there. Now the setting solution does take a while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed up the process, and in doing so, I'm going to mute out this. Alrighty, now that I spared you from the loud sounds of an hairbrush dryer, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little bit of primer. I'm going to throw some in here. So I'm rapidly running out of room for, and I'm going to just brush primer this sucker right on. That's fun. Get my pathway to this clear and pretty much saturate everything. This is self-leveling primer, so I can saturate things and be fine with it because it'll level itself. You know. And obviously you don't want to be responsible with it, like dip the entire thing in like you're some kind of painting heathen. Or the dip method. I remember when Army Painter used the dip method. Yeah, I think they still do. I don't know. They got a little more serious. Where you would dip the entire model in quick shade and just spin it off, and then there you go. You got your model completely what we call in Puerto Rico enchumba of that completely saturated with that shade medium. And does it pool? Yeah, everywhere. it would take more time just getting rid of the pools and negative painting, which is when you add too much painting. You take away and you paint with the you taking away paint process. All right, well, there it is. That is looking good to me. We're on schedule. To finish this in time, I'm going to use the dryer again. Alrighty, so we are back. Oh, still a little wet, but that's fine because what we're going to do is just pretty much just over cover it. I'm going to take some Payne's Gray, nice blue gray, dark blue gray, like that. And that is from Vince's Signature Series. I really like them. Okay. And what we're going to do here, here's my big brush. I just had it. You're fine. That's fun. Boom. I have to clean this desk. After every mini, I have so much hobby creep that I have to re-clean the entire desk every single time. Because if not, I will not have enough room to paint. Okay. Here we go. Some Payne's Gray. I'm going to hit it on cold rocks. And some of the skeletons as well. Big overbrush. Maybe even get some on the base. Nothing crazy. You don't have to do crazy. Not everything has to go down to all the way black. Especially because this base, I want it to be a little desaturated. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to get some Rhinox hide. Find some space on this wet palette. And start hitting stuff with the brown. And just the tips. There we go. There we go. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. All right. Finish that over here. We're going to go for Ushanti Bone. This is Talaran Sand. You know what? I'm going to use Talaran Sand to see how that comes out. And that's how I do it. Just play with the paint. Talaran Sand seems pretty good. And I'm wet. I'm wet blending here, I guess. There goes the blue and the brown mixing in. There you go. Desaturated city. All right, that's pretty good. And then just touching some Wraithbone. Yeah, okay. Nothing crazy. Maybe a little touch of Wraithbone again. And then for the front of this face. What's that? Okay. Let that dry weirdly. Gonna take out some Citadel brushes here. Going with the least point, I'm going to go into my gold. Yeah, I'm using some browns and some golds. some bronze, there's some golds. I'm going to mix them together. And that's what we're going to do for this part of the dagger and this swirling part in the front. Not really worried about too much. Okay. And there's that. Go back to Talon's hand, I think. There we go. And we're going to just get some of this tied back. Paint it. Now, I'm not going crazy with this simply because the reason I am actually going to airbrush over it a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean. Some of that eyes right there. And letting that dry. And I'm going to airbrush some of that on here. So in order to do that, I am going to have to move this. Get it on screen. Now, I usually pull it over to the side and just airbrush on the side and call it a day. But I want to get it on the screen. It's on here. Does not sound good. There's some ripping and tearing. Right there, something got stuck on there. Okay, so this is my poor decrepit painting desk. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to plug up my air compressor, turn it back upside down, so this way it would stop. Oh gosh, evaporating. I don't know why I was thinking on that. All right, so let's see what I get here. We're gonna get underbelly blue. I'm looking for Sotek green, Templegar blue, blah 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 blah. Underbelly blue is the best, and that's from P3. For me, I like this little nice little desaturated light blue. All right, and what we're going to do here, we're going to get 2 drops. That's all we're going to do. 1, 2. Okay, there it is. That paint's going to last for sure. Then you get airbrush flow improver. 1, 2. 3 fell in there. And then we get water. And then we get a paintbrush. Mix them suckers together. I like to pre-mix now because I don't like when my airbrush gets clogged because of a little bit of material I did not see caught in the airbrush. But this is a pretty good way to filter that. All right, let's get the airbrush out. Notice that I only use airbrush pretty sparingly. There it is. That's what we're looking for here. All right, now what we'll do is just put a spot highlight color. This is going to be over here. There you go, look at that. It's looking really going from dark to light. I like that. All right, it's pretty crazy there. All right, so I'm going to clean up my airbrush. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I'm lighten that up too. Okay, that's all it takes. All right, now that is all it takes. Okay, so I am going to get my little Malik and squeeze that in there over the trash can. Cleaning the airbrush is super important. Super important. And then I go back with a little bit of isopropyl. Isopropyl, and that's pretty controversial to some people. Ooh, he's using isopropyl alcohol to clean his airbrush. I find it won't run the seals if I keep it pointed down. Let it point it backwards towards this area. It'll start melting seams and stuff and get really nasty. Good. Looking pretty good. Again, for the 2 listeners that are live right now, thank you so much for being amazing. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this raw heather. Now, excited about the red Corsairs, man, coming out. That's a color scheme I like. And the Tyrant of Badab is he went a little cray-cray. He went a little cray-cray, but they drove him cray-cray. It's not like Magnus. It's like he's done wrong. Magnus, yeah, he's perfect. He is the perfect son and has done nothing wrong. As we all know. We all know this. It's common knowledge. Oh, goodness. All right. I'm going to let that dry. This little glue of mine, I'm going to spread it around because seriously, that would look like crud if I don't. Everything else is fine simply because it's going to get covered in snow, but that little globulus was a little bit much. La la la. Okay. Alrighty, because of No Patience Rob, I'm going to go into the Insta set once again. I'm going to use the reverse of a brush because this will kill your brush. I don't know what's in there, but it smells like roach spray, and that can't be good for you. Okay, drop here and then drop there. Okay. Now I'm going to put the cap on. Where the cap? Got to put the cap on these things because this thing right here, that thing is a hot mess. I don't want to breathe that stuff in. It's highly chemical. All right, here we go. Yeah, we go. All right, now I can put back my incredibly dirty little plate. While I'm waiting for that to dry, however, I am going to take the plug out the bottom of the airbrush because I don't want any humidity staying in there at all. So I take out the plug, turn it upside down to try to let it evaporate somewhat. And I have a happy and dry container. Now, would I like to get some air tube and put it inside the air compressor and just let it blow out for a while? I would love that. I think that would be optimal. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to do that to keep my my air compressor dry. That's so important. All right, going back to the lab again. Put this on, and I'm going to spare your ears. It was so strong that it fell off of this, still stayed on. That's pretty awesome. All right. On here. Come on. Stop messing around, dog. Anyway, I'm going to put it in the top ring. Okay, good. Hold on to it. Come on, buddy. Stop tipping over. What are you doing? All right, I'm going to take my terrain snow, which I love. Love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. And let's get some snow and put it on. We get some snow and put it on. Get some snow and put it on. Get some globulous snow and populous. Get the glue. Get the snow and put it on. Put it on. Put it on. Gonna get the snow and put it on. Put it on. Put it on. Put it on. You should get snow all over your feet. You should have snow. Don't miss a beat. Oh yeah, you should. You should have snow on you. La, la, la. They hear them sleigh bells ring-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, do-do-do-do-do-do. You know it's lovely weather for some snow on your base. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. La, 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 la. It's like that meme of that older lady driving, and she's just humming that along, and everything is being destroyed behind her. La, 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 la. If you don't know that meme, oh, it's so sad for you because it's so good. So funny. So funny. According to my students, there's going to be a great meme reset start the new year. So 6.7 is out. Wonder what else is going to be new. If you ever want to make anything trendy, not cool, parents, all you have to do is constantly do it. Because as you know, teenagers do not find us very cool. Not that my daughter is a teenager yet. She has a while to go, and I'm cherishing every moment. She's 6 years old. And again, cherishing every single moment with her. Oh, speaking of which, going back to what somebody said, would you paint me my miniatures for $10? I could do it for free, but every moment with my daughter is very cherished. And, you'd have to make it worth my while to put her on the back burner for any amount of time. And $10 is not cutting it. And if it was for a charity or a really good cause, then yeah, I have no problem. I actually gave away one of my minis for good causes. To bring somebody here from the Ukraine, actually. They were in some trouble. And my coworker's sister, and I felt really bad because the coworker was crying, and I was like, oh, I gotta do something about that. All right, I'm taking snow and I'm putting it on the perfectly painted, nicely done mini because, you know, I like destroying stuff. Or I'm just adding just a little bit. I've been there, I've done that, I've sold the book. Alrighty, and I think it's a good stopping point. Though I did not speak in a full sentence. Ooh, that's a lot of snow. Yeah, well, I mean, he's trudging. He's trudging. He's been there. Anywhere that it does not have interest, you're getting a smattering of snow. Yeah, that's looking good. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, even better. All right, let's clear the snow out here. There is something I haven't done on the sword, so I'm going to tend to that right now. And then when I'm done with that, this model should be done. And that is a transition that I've been doing. Completely optional. No, it would be really nice if you would behave, Paint. It would be really nice if you did that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go put a line down here. Yeah, I'm going to bring it over so you can see it in the screen a little better. All right, and I'm going to do a line on the other side. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. And I usually do it on the gun over here, so I'm going to have to go in. Nice little straight line. And on this side too. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some original base coat, which is Amaranth Blue. Fantasy and Game, scale 75. Like my scale 75, although something about scale 75, you do have to poke a hole in the top of it to get it started when you first open it. Not squeeze violently because it will pop free and then you'll have paint all over the place. So you do have to poke a hole with something, like a needle or something of that nature. Be careful with your X-Acto blades because you could cut down the middle. That's not good. That's not ideal. Not that it's not good. It's just not ideal. All right. Now, what are we going to do for that Klondike bar? That's the question. I'm going to take that nice little blue and we're going to start blending that color in to create a gradient from this darker blue to this lighter blue, making it more of an ice blue. I do like doing that. There we go. Just a little bit. Then over here, I'm just gonna get in there. All right, so this way it's not too great. Now I'm going to go back to paler blue. And I am going to wet blend just a little bit, especially right there in the middle. So it looks like it's coming from one color to the next. Blend there. You see, it was a pretty good job at wet blending because scale 75 is really good at glazing. Made a mistake here, so I'm just gonna clean up these lines. That's looking good. News and painting tutorials all in one. We have just one more person watching, whoever that is. You are the GOAT. Thank you for spending the time with me. Alrighty, there it is. I have that. That's looking pretty good. I do want to put just a little bit of AK Interactive on it. What the heck? Make sure I have an open window and there it is. Now I have to wait for that to dry. And blammo. Who's waiting? Alrighty, this one is done. Add him to the pile. Currently, let's see. Bring all the ones that I've done out, put them on parade. Alright, we got some people have a lot of minis, and that is me. Some people have a lot of minis. That is also me. I wanna put a little more of the blue on the tip right there. Okay, good. La 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 la. And there is more. Unit of 5 so far. We have the 6ers and the 7ers. Been around for a while. All right, that is 9. I have 9 of these guys done. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Well, I think it's time to close out the show and get ready for the next show, which is going to be with Wolf Brother Mythos, which is later. But I am also going to have dinner and whatnot. So there it is from the painting desk. I'm going to move over back to the computer desk, which is across from me. Don't you love painting? I surely do. And my Wolfscar Terminators are not even there yet. La 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 la. All right. Let's go back to my talking overlay, which is once again amazing. All right, so wow, this is absolutely epic. Thank you. I would like to say thank you for everybody who joined me on this adventure with the Blight, with the Maggotkin of Nurgle new release coming out, and me getting the information a little bit early so I can share with you guys is absolutely legendary. Hopefully you have your Maggotkin of Nurgle. Maybe you have some of the new Darkwater releases that you can paint up. That would be absolutely amazing. Let me know what you think. Are you excited? Are you going to be playing Maggotkin of Nurgle? How are you going to manage all those diseases and keep track of everything with your turn ends? What lists are you going to bring? And how do you manage your fun with a very crunchy army, very wrinkly-brained army? All right. In any case, I would like to thank everybody who showed up today. You guys are the goats. And I'll catch you on the next time whenever I have something newsworthy, or maybe you just want to hang out and paint. Well, we'll catch you again. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, all the things, Kwanzaa. Yeah. You enjoy yourselves out there. All right. May be blessed. And remember, paint every miniature to increase intentionally one skill, at least one skill. May your backlog get ever smaller.